Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, I'm showing you how to make these adorable slot together three-dimensional paper crafts for Easter and spring. We've got our cute little Easter chick and a duckling friend. These are really fun to make, and the best thing is most of the pieces slot together, so you hardly need any glue for this. And you can take the fronts out of the bodies to add a battery-powered tea light or fairy lights inside, or even some little sneaky Easter chocolates. The nice thing about slot together designs too is that after spring and Easter have all gone and we're in hopefully a lovely warm summer, you can take these apart really easily by just unslotting them again. Then they will be completely flat. You can store all the pieces until next year and then put them together next year for all the enjoyment of the craft project without having to recut them every year. And of course, it means all the pieces can just go in an envelope and put in a drawer or a cupboard or somewhere out the way, and they're really easy to store. The downloads to make these are completely free, so let's find out where to find them. You can download the free cutting file for this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-svgs, or follow the link in the description of this video to go straight to the download page. The download comes in a zip folder, and you need to unzip this before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, then go to Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find a file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then within there you've got the chick and the duckling. I'll show you how to do the chick one first. So we'll look in here and we've got 3 separate files. The one you want for Cricut Design Space is the one which starts SVG in the file name. Click and drag that in. This is what it looks like. And press Upload. When you've got it under your recent uploads, click on it to get the green border and then press Add to Canvas. It will load in at the correct size, which is 15 inches tall, but of course you can make it bigger or smaller if you want to. This size will make a chick which is big enough to fit a UK-sized Cadbury cream egg in the middle of the tummy if you wanted to put one of those in there. There are a few things we need to do to this file before it's ready to cut, and that is to format the score lines and add them in. So first, click the design to select it, and then press Ungroup at the top of the Layers panel to separate out the layers. There are lots of different pieces in here, but a simple way to tell which ones have score lines is to look down the list of layers on the right-hand side until you get to one which has got a little arrow on the left. That shows that this is another group, and that means it has a score line. Because I've clicked it, it's selected that piece. You can see it's this one down here, which is going to be part of the wings. Within the layers, there's the yellow bit underneath, and then what looks like just a simple single line. That's what will change to a score line. So I've clicked just that one layer, and then you know if you've done it right because it will look green in the color box up here. In the Operations drop-down, change it to a score line. If you don't have a scoring wheel or stylus for your Cricut, then instead of changing it, click that layer and hit the trash can to delete it. And you can do that for all the score lines in this project and also the duckling project. It will just be a little bit trickier to put together because you'll have to fold it exactly where it's supposed to go without those score lines to guide you. Once it's changed to a score line, we need to tell the Cricut to do the scoring on this piece. Click the piece that you've just added the score line into, and then down the bottom of the Layers panel, press Attach. Attach is that magic button that tells the Cricut where to do the scoring. Now you'll notice we've only attached these 2 layers. You can see here it says Attach, and it's just these bits. Make sure you don't accidentally attach it to anything else. Now we can look down for the next score line. So we'll go down here, and again, here's a group with a little arrow on the left, and we know there's a score line because it looks like a single line here, and it's green in our box up at the top. This is the opposite side of the wing to the one we've just done. So I'll change that to a score line, click away, click the wing to select that whole little group. You see both layers are selected, and then press attach. Okay, let's have a look for any more. We've got some for the beak. So I'll click this one. This one looks like 3 little vertical lines. Change it to a score line, click away, click the beak, and press attach. Then there's just one left, which is for the other piece of the beak. So I'll click on that vertical line, change it to a score line, click away, click that bit of the beak, and press attach. And there we go. That's it, formatting done. Save your project if you want to, so you don't have to make those changes again, and then press make when you're ready. This will separate out all of your different colours. You can see some of them here. You can change the paper size in the drop down on the left, and then you can click and drag the shapes to move them around to take up less space on your cardstock. Just make sure when you're doing it that nothing overlaps, otherwise it won't cut out properly. But this is a great way to use up less card, which means you've got more cardstock to use on another project another day. So go ahead and get everything cut out with your Cricut, and then we'll see how to put together this chick. If it's the duckling you're looking to make, keep watching because we'll go through that one after we've put together the chick. I've now got all my pieces of the chick cut out and I've laid them all out on my work surface. Most of the chick can be slotted together without any glue at all, but there are a couple of bits that we do just need to stick together, most notably the eyes and the wings. So we'll start with the eyes. There are 2 pieces, like this and this, with the little eye cutouts. You want to make sure your eyes are facing each other so that the eyelashes are on the edge, the outside edge of both pieces, and then turn them upside down. And you've got 2 little black ovals. These are going to be stuck over the eyes to give them some detail, help that eye really shine through. So you just want the tiniest bit of glue around those eye holes on the back of these pieces, and then stick over the top, and then I'll put that over to one side to dry. The next pieces to glue are the wings. If we look at my little test one here, you can see how the wings come out really cute, really nicely. So we're going to choose these 2 pieces. They've got a sort of big slot down one side and then feathers down the other. And we'll start, just bend the feathers outwards a bit. Makes them look really fluffy and cute. So I'm just running my finger down and you see how they pop out nicely. And then for the bit on the side, that's got a score line down it. So we're going to fold it along that score line up towards ourselves. So we end up with this. And then we'll put glue on the top of that bit, the folded bit, and get the wing piece that lines up with that score line. And we'll stick that on. Glue on top of the little tab. I'm running out. Up to that score line. And stick the wing on top so it lines up with the score line. There we go. Oops. I'll pop that out for the 3D effect when it's all dry. Then there's one to do for the other side. Exactly the same, just the opposite way round. I'll fold up the feathers first. Fold out along the score line. Put my glue on it. And then do the other wing. Okay, they can go over to one side as well. And then a nice way to get prepped early is to do all the folding out of all the feathers. So all the pieces that have little feather cutouts, just bend them, just sort of rolling them upwards with my thumb. Just a smooth motion. I'm not folding them. It is more just to sort of tickle along the edges to get them to come out and look 3D. There we go. And then I've already done all my others, both the big and the small pieces, but we'll come back to those later. We will need our glue at the end for the beak and the feet, but first, let's assemble the body of the chick. These are my 3 body pieces. We'll start with the one that has the slots coming from this bit here and upwards into that line there. This is number 1. Number 2 is, oh, I've got that the wrong way around here. Good start. Number 2 is the one that has 2 slots on this bottom section. You see it's slitted in from the top and the bottom, and then there's one little one in there. And then finally is this one with the sort of big triangle cut out of the top. So I'll do these ones first. Take the second, go into the top of the first, and then carefully bring the second bit in so that the 2 slits at the bottom overlap. Then you'll end up with something like this that has 4 sides on it that can stand up unassisted, and it also folds flat. Take the third piece of the body, slide the top upwards over both of the ones that are already there, and again carefully slide that bit, being careful not to bend it or add any creases. Slot it over the bottom, and then now you should have a 6-piece shape that is freestanding. Take the 2 larger circle cutouts. These are slightly different, so you need to be careful which one you do. One of them has these 2 little rectangle cutouts along one of the sides, whereas the other one, there we go, doesn't have them. They're the same size, the only difference are those 2 cutouts. The ones with the cutouts is for the bottom, so I'll leave that one for now. I want the one that doesn't have those little cutouts. This is going to slide into the top of my body. This bit's always really hard to show on camera, but basically what we're going to do is slide it in there and then tuck all of the little grooves in the side of the circle bit into the little grooves you can see kind of where my finger is on all these sides. And it is a little tricky, especially getting the first couple in, because it all tries to sort of move around itself, and you've got to be really careful with the card that you don't tear anything. So I'm just gently moving the bits a little bit at a time. If you don't quite get into a slit on one go, that's okay. Move it round, get another one a little bit closer to the top and come back to it. So sometimes you'll find that just moving one into position isn't quite working, but if you get another one done and come back to it, then it will move. I'm just making sure there's one I've missed. There we go. Okay, right, so now you can see that's held in there really securely. It should be flat when you look at that circle piece, and all the little slots are in there. Now we can do the bottom one, exactly the same. Put it in there, and then get all the slits lined up with the main structure piece. Right, those are all in. And then you can see when you turn it that one of the bottom bits is the one with those two. So make sure that circle is definitely on the bottom because that's where the feet will go in a little while. Okay, that's the body structure done. Next, we can put the sides in. We've got 4 sides with feathers and then our 2 wings. We'll start with the front section, the tummy of the chick. That's the one where you've got the 2 little cutouts, and that's just one that has the feathers. You see you've got these tabs on the top and the bottom. Those will slide in to the top and the bottom holes in your structure. So this one is going on my side with the 2 feet holes. Just go in. Get that all the way in, and then bend it up, put the bottom one in, and just make sure that tab goes all the way through. Okay, then next we've got the wings. Bend that out a bit. So 1 wing either side, so it looks like the wings are flapping out of the little chick. In there, and then the other wing the other side of the middle. There we are. So he's looking more chick-like now. And then the 3 other bits are the 3 feathers. Doesn't matter which way round you put these in, they're all the same. Just make sure your feathers are kind of pointing downwards. So that they all look the same and consistent when you get it in. And there's the body of our chick. Finished! That wasn't too bad, was it? Now we can move on to the head. We've got 3 structure pieces and the 2 smaller circles. The first piece of the head is this one with the slot in the bottom and the top like this. The second is the one that's got the 2 slits, top and bottom. And the third is the one without any of the little dangly bits on the top. We'll put this together this way round so the little bits on the top are sort of facing off at each other. Put the second bit over the first and tuck it in at the bottom, exactly like we did with the body. Like that. And then this one goes in the middle. And sometimes when I've been testing this, I've put it in and it's not quite gone the right way. We'll see if this works. So, okay. The piece that has 2 little slits on the end of the third one will be the front of the chick. So just check that you're happy with how this is looking. I obviously put it in the opposite way round on this test one, because on this one the bigger head flaps on the left and the smaller ones on the right, but this one's going to end up the other way round with the smaller one on the left and the bigger one on the right. And then this will be the beak. But it really doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to do it, or just do it whichever way it naturally comes together like I do. And then we need to put the top and the bottom in place exactly the same as we did for the body. This time the circles are identical, so you do not need to worry about which one goes in the top and which one goes in the bottom. We started with the body first as it is a little bit easier. This one, as it's smaller, I find it more tricky to get into place. So I'm going to go ahead, I think off camera, because otherwise I'm going to be here for ages, and put in my circles, and then we'll come back to put together the rest of the head. I finished the head pieces in there now, so we can add the sides. Locate the edge of the head that has, hopefully you can see, 2 little cutouts along the edge here. It's only present on one of the sides. And I've got a bit of card stuck in there, so I'm going to need to clear that. There we go. Now you can see it a bit better. That's the front that the beak will go on. So either side of that will go the eye pieces. And remember that the eyelashes should be going towards the outside, so away from that beak section. And we'll tuck these up, slot them in. There's one. I can't find the bottom. Go in, go in. I've actually bent the card. That wasn't very clever. I'm using really lightweight card. This yellow card is not very strong, which wasn't really the best move for this project because it's quite flimsy. There we go, that's in there now. Fortunately, I creased those a little bit. My test one was much neater with no creases, but never mind. Then all the other four sides are the same, so they'll just slot in like we did with the body. There's our little chick face done, apart from the beak. I'll do that when it's stuck onto the body. So at the top of the body, you can see there's a kind of star shape. Make sure you've got the front facing towards you, and then this corresponds with the star on the bottom of the head. So they will just slot in together. It takes a bit of wriggling. I never do this on the first attempt. A little bit of fiddling and playing about, and then all of a sudden it will just go into place and sit on there nicely. Oh, not like that. I hadn't quite got it then. Once it's in, it won't easily come out. And, you know, you won't knock it off. It's just getting to that point that is sometimes a bit tricky, but I just did it there. So you'll sort of know, oh, although I've done it facing the wrong way. Oh dear, my poor chick is having a bit of an exorcist moment there. Right, there we go. No, not quite. Right, there we are. This one, it kind of worked better. It got a little bit of a wobble effect, but it will sit on there nicely. And I've just knocked one of his poor little feet out. Put that back. Okay. I don't think I've got that quite right. Aha. There we go. Much better. Okay, so now you should be able to wiggle it and give it a little shake and it won't come off. Got the feet and the beak left. We'll do the feet first. So we've got two matching bits that have the 2 feet and then 2 that have the 1. And these will end up looking like your little chick has got 3 toes. So first, put a little bit of glue in one of the feet, just around where the little cut-in is. Stick one of the other bits in, like that, and then fold it over and make sure they're all stuck so that the little line, you can't really see it, the little cutout line on all 3 sides should line up. I've not put any glue in the feet bit, just this bit here. Wait for that to dry. I'll do the other one in the meantime. Exactly the same. Stick that on. Fold it over the top and stick. And then just make sure your cut's little gap lines up. And while that dries, we'll do the beak. And this is the trickiest bit of the whole thing. So we've got 2 pieces. This one is the bottom of the beak, and it's got 3 little score lines on. First, take the middle score line and fold upwards like that. It almost looks like a little aeroplane at this point. And then the 2 little tabs on top fold in on themselves. And that is going to make the top bits that get glued to the other piece of the beak. So there's that one. And then the other bit of beak we're going to fold downwards. So it'll end up sort of being able to stand up by itself. It's so hard to show this as it's so small. Could try zooming in a little bit more. Okay. Now this is a little on the trickier side. I have found it easiest to actually put this together whilst slotting it in. So this is going to go in that bottom slit and then add glue to the 2 tabs on top. Nice blob. There we go. Got a string of glue. Then the other bit goes in the top hole. So I've slotted that in, and then just gently push them together so that the top bit gets glued onto the bottom. You might need to hold it in place a little while for that glue to dry. This way we know everything fits in the tabs like it's supposed to. You can't really see what I'm doing. And that both bits will go together nicely. Okay. If you're finding this a bit tricky, you could leave them and just cut off the 2 little tabs and leave it as 2 separate pieces instead. There we go. It's my little chick with his beak. So next we can do the feet. Open them out. Just sort of bend out the far and narrow toe and then put them in a bit so it makes this sort of fan pattern. There's one. And the other. There. Cool. And then we'll turn them over. The head might fall off on this bit. We'll see. We've got, if we look at it from the very underneath, the 2 holes for the feet. And these just slot in. So poke it through the hole and then get the slot over the edge of the hole. It'll just hold it in place. It's not the most secure thing in the world. You could probably add a dab of glue if you wanted to. But they will stay. And then you get your cute little stood up chick. And now, oh, I just lost a foot out of the other one. That was just case in point of what I was saying. Put that back in. There we go. Now I've got my 2 little Easter chicks. They look really big Easter chicks because I'm zoomed in. Hang on a second. There we go. My 2 chicks are all finished. Now let's take a little look at how to make the duckling version. Now that the chick is all made, it's time to get started on the duckling. Start a new project in Design Space and go to Upload and then Upload Image. Just like before, you can click Browse or drag and drop the file in. Go back to the unzipped version of the folder and this time look in the duckling file. And once again, it's the file which starts SVG that you want to upload. So I'll click and drag that in. Here we go. It looks very similar. Press Upload, click on it to get the green border, and then press Add to Canvas. Once again, this will load in at the size to add a cream egg to the middle, and that's the UK sized cream eggs. We need to add our score lines just like we did before. So first click the design and ungroup it. And then we've got a few extra ones on this one. So we've got our feet down here. And I'm going to do this really quickly. So click and then click that one and attach. And the other foot. If you want to see this in more detail, then go back to the beginning of the video and watch how I did it for the chick design. Now that I've done the feet, I'm doing the little pieces on the beak. There's 2 of these to change to a score line, then attach. And also we've got the wings. So that's these ones down here. They look like the ones on the chick. Change that one, attach, and one more, score, click, and attach. Have one final check, but I'm pretty sure that's it, which it is. So now this is ready for me to go ahead and cut out. I've now got all the pieces of my duck cut out, so it's time to put him together. I'm not going to show the whole process start to finish because it's pretty much the same as the chick. You can see here he is, super cute little duckling, but I will show you the bits that are different. So we'll start with the eyes. These are a little bit different because on the chick, it just had the one little bit of card to go over the eyes, but on the duckling, he's got big wide open eyes, so we've got a white and a black bit. And also his feet are different because the chick has his little toes, the duckling's got webbed feet. These are the bits that will need to be glued together differently. Everything else goes together the same way. You'll just need to watch for a couple of things when putting the body pieces in, but I'll show you that when we get there. For now, get your 2 eye pieces and turn them upside down. So let's work this out. That'll be my right way around. The eye bits are a little bit closer to the middle where the beak will be. Turn upside down. And then I've got my black pieces, and you probably won't be able to see these white pieces for the eyes. And we'll start with the black. So I'll add a little bit of glue around the edge of that circle, just a tiny bit, and then put one of the eyes on so that the side with the eye hole closer to the edge is the one at the top. Turn it round and just move it about with your finger until you're happy with the eye position. It should look something like that. And I'll do the same on the other one. That, and then a little bit of glue around the hole that's left, and just dab those white circles on top. There. So when that's all dry, you'll get those pretty eyes. The feet are also quite different, so I'll show you how to stick those together now. Each foot has 3 pieces. You've got the bit with the score lines on, then a solid foot, and the little bit to go on top. We'll start with a funny shaped bit. This has got score lines down one side. So we'll turn it upside down and fold down along those score lines. However you find it easiest to do. And then that's what we've ended up with. You can see they're folded in. And then the back will be folded along this little bit here where the 2 feet meet. And then we'll glue this tab to the inside of the foot. I'll glue down the tab. And then fold it and stick. So it should end up, there are a few things to watch out for. This top bit should be flat because that's where we're going to stick the rest of the foot. And also, your little gap on the back of the foot. Can you see that? Oh, there we go. Now you can see it. It's so hard when they're so small. So this little gap here, just in there, on both sides should still line up. That's how we'll slit the feet into the chick. And then you've got a top flat bit where that tab went. Glue all down there. Take the solid foot piece and stick on top. And then the little bit of detail that will just be glued on top. There. I've gone slightly wonky. There we go. Let's bring him up, see if it'll focus. That's what it looks like. So that's one foot. The other one goes together exactly the same, so I won't show you that one. I'm going to go and start sticking and slotting my duckling together. I'll come back when it's time to add in the bits to the side of the body. Oh, just knocked his poor little beak off. Poor little duckling. I'll fix that in a moment. One thing, just like with the chick, to be careful of is when you're putting the body together and putting the circles in, one of the circles again has these two pieces cut out of it, these two little rectangles. You just need to make sure that goes on the bottom of the body and the one without the cutouts goes on the top. But there we go, everything else is the same, so I'm going to get cracking. My duckling's starting to take shape. Here's his body. And remember, just like with the chick, with the two little rectangles cut out will be the front section. I've added his wings in, but I thought I'd do the other sections with you because they are a little different. We've got these four sides. The one with the kind of chevron front, that's for the front of the duckling. And that one goes in there. Then there are the wings. Then either side of the wings are the ones just with the feathers. Oh, dropped it. One up there. One down in there. And then the other side next to the wings is the same feathery one. There. And then the one for the very back is this shape here, which has got an extra little bit for his tail. Ooh, dropped it. His tail. So that is for the very back on the opposite of the chevrons. You can see it in there. There. And that's the body done. So I've also done his face. You see this just has the feathers and the two eye bits. Make sure the eye bits go either side of the bit on the edge with the slits in because that's where the beak goes. The beak will go together in the same way as the chick. So I'm going to do that one and then we'll see the final finished duckling in a moment. I've now finished off my little duckling and here he is, very cute. I think they kind of look a little bit creepy from the top on this view, but when you're actually looking at them in real life, they are super cute. There's the duckling and the chick. If you want to add any battery-powered tea lights or fairy lights inside, all you need to do is slot out one of the bits of the body, put it in, and then place it back on. You could even take one of the sides off and use it to hide a little tiny chocolate egg or some mini eggs or a little Easter treat in there, and then they would make lovely gifts for children, grandchildren, or even adults, because I know personally I would love to receive one of these, especially if it had some little hidden chocolates in the middle. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to make 3D slot together chicks and ducklings for Easter and spring. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Easter paper crafts. So now we've done slot together Easter eggs, we've done a duckling, and we've done a chick. What could possibly be coming up next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.